Some people compare AI to like the emergence of Google or web search. I don't think that's a good analogy at all. The analogy is more to the internet. This is the next concept of like the internet, which will fundamentally change the way we work. Companies that existed before the internet existed, many of those aren't around anymore because they had to fundamentally change their business model. Complex multi-step tasks where it requires a bit of planning and coordination. And really, ultimately, the goal is to automate autonomous ways, really important, impactful workflows that today require, even with AI, a lot of supervised interaction with a co-pilot. Agents, the goal is to take those workflows and allow them to be executed with minimal or no human direct interaction. Still observable, still controllable and safe, but a much more autonomous where there's a lot fewer human to machine interactions. What does that mean for procurement? I think if you look at procurement today, there's still a lot of emailing of spreadsheets, coordinating among your team, logging into very specific tactical user interfaces and source systems and analytics and kind of going through a lot of tasks that frankly an agent can take over and free up your people to think more strategically, look at how they can improve their execution and increase their scope of what they can address. This is a technology revolution. The things that have happened in the past month have really unlocked a step function and capability of automation. We've had GPT 4.0 for quite a while, but the things that newer reasoning LLMs can do are it's an eye opener. There's always been speculation around, can it do this, can it do that? And now what we're seeing is it really can build compelling plans that are executable. It really can go and research about all your suppliers and identify the ones you need to think about right now. There's many examples of. I just feel like what we're going to see over the next coming 4 to 6 months is really a step function in capability in terms of what we can do with the automation. We've gone beyond the simple interaction, ask a quick question, get a quick answer. Now we're moving into, it could really be your strategic partner. It could really be your coworker in a project and take on tasks. Implications are going to be the organization structures within procurement organizations are going to change. We need to figure this out. Some people are going to run fast. Some people are going to be more cautious, and there's pros and cons to each strategy, especially based on your business, how you perceive your risks and where you need to be. But everyone has to consider it because there will be a new norm where if you haven't figured out how to take advantage of this capability, then I think you're going to have a disadvantage in the marketplace. Today, we're working on what we call collaborative mode, which is interacting with an agent. It's doing agentic stuff. It's autonomous. It's going out, performing a lot of tasks to pull back information. As I mentioned, it's not just like, tell me how much I'm spending on Microsoft. I think those are interesting questions. It can help you like explore. It can automate the analytics, basically. Instead of having to go and like understand the chart graph, it'll explain it to you, and then you can basically work with it to kind of explore. So that's interesting. But I think what really is interesting is when you can work with it and say, okay, well, what would the impact of proposed tariffs on my IT servers category be next quarter? It will go and research that for you. It'll go out and pull the latest news feeds and information from your suppliers around what the impact of tariffs is. It'll find alternates. With a high-level question, you don't have to really think about it a lot. Just go right to the chase. What do you need to know? What's the impact of tariffs on my IT service category? With that question, it'll go and do all the work to pull back a response that's comprehensive and gives you a high-level view that you can drill into and then explore. That's not just like, show me how much spend. It's really like, go and do research on this topic and come back with a report for me, right? That's something you'd go hire McKinsey to do and spend a lot of money on. We can really automate. We really, truly can automate that capability. And then in that process, you can discover an initiative, an objective. Okay, I need to move my suppliers to another region, or I need to defer spend, or whatever objective that you identify through that exploration was. Let's work with you to build the plan to go do that. So the go do, I think, is really, really interesting as well. We put best practices, we put examples of plans plans that worked. It will know your history of plans and your policies, all of the knowledge that you'll put into it. And that agentic framework will work and contextualize all that stuff and build the right environment for the agent to go out and basically do the research on the plan and it will build a plan that's not only just 4 bullets, it's a decomposed plan with milestones and risk mitigation, timeline, ready to execute, that then you can even work and it'll help you cascade that plan to your team. I mean, just being able to run fast and not have to leverage a services company like McKinsey or Carney to go and do a huge assessment that maybe you just did last year, but you need to do it again. So the agility, the speed with which you can go and be able to do these things, I think be very important, because if you can't do that, you're going to be outmaneuvered by your competition, which will be able to do that. So, that new norm in terms of how people are going to operate and compete, we'll find over the next quarters and years. And there will be some winners and some people that don't really take advantage of it correctly. So I think building that strategy where you can lean into it, I think is important. Figure out how you can do that. Again, I know that there's a lot of concern about safety, which is critical. So you have to be careful, but the folks that figure it out are going to have an advantage.